This is J.D.'s Cowboy Chuckwagon Cookout. Here's where he feeds all of us 2 times a day. The old original authentic cowboy cooking.
Look, when we got a picture of you. We got the food. A good spot.
What you got cooking there, Cookie?
This is meat and potatoes. This is a meat and potato casserole.
So he bakes and puts it on.
Yeah, right.
And it's getting close.
Almost dinner time.
Almost. I can tell because the people keep coming around.
They smell the good cooking.
When I open them pots up, people start smelling. I start getting a crowd.
Here, buddy.
Tell me what all you kind of you set up here.
Well, this is your standard chuck box. Charlie Goodnight invented this to feed his hands going on trail drives. And the top folds down. You get a nice working table where you can cut potatoes or chop meat or whatever you need to do. Roll your biscuits out. And inside the chuck box, you've got about everything that you possibly need for a kitchen. Of course, you have your sourdough crock, because you got to have some good sourdough to make some good biscuits.
Oh yeah.
And so that's been percolating for a little while. And mixing bowls and different pans and pots, and keep your utensils up and out of the way. And all your seasonings. Seasonings are some of the most important things that a cook will have. And some of the old Chuckwagon cooks would actually take their little cans of seasoning and they would sleep with them. Roll them up in their bedroll with them, because that was the most important thing that they had there. Because if they didn't have good seasonings, they didn't have good food.
Makes sense. It's quite a setup. Everything's pretty authentic too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's this is a Bain wagon built 1870 or before. The running gear, the wheels are original, but the chuck box and the wagon box was actually rebuilt just a few years ago. But this is basically what a chuck wagon would look like.
Now, with this setup, how many people could you feed?
Well, depending on the menu, I could feed up to somewhere around 100 people, unless they wanted really extravagant meals. But 25 to 30, I can cook just about anything for what people want. But you get above about 50, then I'll need a few extra hands slicing potatoes and such.
And what would be kind of a standard
Well, a traditional
meal?
cowboy meal would be like a beef stew, some pinto beans, fresh baked biscuits, and probably some apple cobbler or some type of pie. But I've done everything from butterfly pork chops and chicken breast stuffed with broccoli and cheese, and apple pies, pumpkin pies, complete Thanksgiving dinner, whatever people want. If it can be cooked at home, it can be cooked right here.
Now, we're here at the LA County Fair, the largest county fair in the world. They'll have about 1,500,000 people through the gates this year, and we've eaten here several times, and more times than we probably should, because we put on a couple pounds. But you've cooked a lot of pretty extravagant things here. Some chicken with all kind of spices and special things. Not what you might expect to find at a cowboy Chuckwagon cookout?
Well, most people don't want to eat what they had on a traditional trail drive because they had normally 4 things. They would have biscuits, bacon, beans, and coffee for 3 times a day. So that gets pretty tiresome after a while. So most folks that I cook for want to have a little bit more variety. So if they request it, I'll cook it.
We've had some great meals here, and like I said, we probably eat too much of it, too many times a day, but we can't stop. It's so good. Thank you, J.D.
You're absolutely welcome.
I think you got something burning over there.
Oh no, it's not burning. I don't burn anything. I just Cajun blacken.
What's that?
That's a little pork roast.
Pork roast.
That'll
Man.
that'll sit there and percolate for about 3 to 5 hours until you stick a fork in there and just twist it, and it's then you call it done.
What time do you start cooking all this stuff every morning?
I'll start somewhere around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. Have a meal ready by 11:30 or 12.
Then you cook a supper too later on.
Mm-hmm. Then start right in after we get done serving somewhere around 2 o'clock. I'll start right in on the supper.
Well, ring the dinner bell when it's ready, okay?
I will.
How much wood do you go through while you're here?
4 cords. 4 cords of wood and last me the entire month, cooking for about 40 people twice a day.
And they bring the wood in to you. You told me each year it's maybe a different kind of wood.
Yep. Just as long as it's a hardwood, it's in good shape.
What kind of woods this you have this year?
This is citrus wood. This is lemon, orange, grapefruit, something along those lines.
It all comes out of orchards?
Mostly. They'll redo their orchards, so whatever orchard they're cutting down and replanting this year is the wood that I'll be burning next year.
Now you made me a cup of coffee. Show me this coffee pot and just how this coffee, old time coffee works.
Well, most of the time, excuse me 1 second.
Got a customer. This is not your Mr. Coffee Maker, is it?
No, this is an old time coffee pot. It's just boiling water, and you put in about a gallon and a half of water. I'll put 1 cup of coffee and bring it to a boil, and then after it boils, remove it from the heat and just pour 1 cup of cold water in there, and it settles all the grounds to the bottom. As long as you don't get the last cup of coffee, you don't have to chew your coffee.
Now I've read stories and heard stories about sometimes they would put coffee in a sock and dip it down in the, is that right?
They'd make coffee filters out of socks or whatever else they had around, and just because sometimes they didn't get it doused quite good enough, and they get a mouthful of coffee grounds.
Well, they couldn't run to Walmart in those days and get coffee.
That's
filters.
right. That's right.
All right, J.D., thank you. Very impressive. I thought you were still.